I think the truth is that the whole distinction between private and public is getting fudged. It's a very grey area now. Many state-owned companies have mixed ownership, particularly ones at a city level. And the private companies, when they get to a certain scale, are heavily incorporated into China Inc., into the Chinese system, if you like. So the distinction isn't as important as it was in the past, but the real distinction is between those that are heavily controlled by the government and the party, and those that have carved out a degree of autonomy for themselves. Private companies, when they get to a certain size, or when they're very, very strategic to China, are in some way or other linked up into some leadership groups in the political system. But I think that the Chinese government and party are very smart at how they work with those large strategic companies, like Huawei, like Alibaba, giving them enough freedom to operate. But those companies know that they are, that they're only there because the government will tolerate them. Yeah? But there are many other smaller private companies that are not being interfered with at all. In fact, I would say a lot of small and medium-sized enterprises in South China, in Zhejiang, Fujian, and Guangdong, where I was last year for a period, say quite every venture, every company I talked to said that the government was playing a much more low-key role in those provinces than they had been 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So the answer is different in different sectors, but in the traditional old style SOE, there definitely has been a return of the party in a very major way in terms of decision making. In the past, they were interested in partnerships, partly to get control of capital. They wanted injections of capital and access to foreign markets and things like that. Today, Chinese companies don't lack capital. They want technology or maybe just skills or management skills, or maybe perhaps access to some foreign markets. One should use what one has in terms of technology very wisely. If the technology you have will be overtaken in 3 or 4 years, use it or lose it. It's better to use it. But always stay ahead, innovating, and that way the Chinese will rise, but you will still be able to keep ahead of your Chinese competitors. So many foreign companies partner in China with Chinese companies who then become competitors. I mean, Chinese auto companies are building their own cars and competing with the joint venture. That's fine, as long as you do it with your eyes open. And I think it's better for companies to decide what technology they want to protect or which technology they want to transfer, rather than having a government, the US administration, for instance, deciding that. I think they know very well, and I think they've done a good job over the years. Well, I do feel that at this stage, the US administration has a number of policymakers who actually believe that China's rise should be contained or held down. That is not the policy of the last 30 years or 25 years in America, but it's a new policy, and I think it's unjustified and very, very short-sighted. China, of course, is out looking for technology, wants to grow in its own way, and we have to be vigilant, maybe, that they will try to find technology which is American and very precious. But my feeling is that we should be working with them to help them rise successfully and not trying to stop that rise, because if China fails, it would be a disaster, and I want China to succeed. While at the same time, we have to maintain our vigilance, just like every country does.